Okay, I'm just saying link to IRL. Fine. Okay, so let's have a look at the latest news over here. Alrighty, so we got Yuga Labs coming out. Interested to discuss this. This is interesting to me. And they launching a limited collection of 300 art NFTs called 12 Fold on Bitcoin as ordinal. It's only going to be 300 available. You're going to need Bitcoin in order to do so. Rumors are that it's going to be an auction type of drop. So yeah, it's going to go to the highest bidder. Must remember when you're dealing with Yuga, you're dealing with the OGs in the space, the big money in the NFT space, CryptoPunk holders, Bored Ape Yacht Club holders. So these, I think, are not going to be cheap. They're not for your average person. But it is interesting to me a couple of things. First of all, that Yuga is doing their own sort of collection on Bitcoin. The reason that it's interesting is because the crypto punks on Bitcoin, which are not officially Yugas, this sort of gives validity to that. The fact that Yuga is doing a collection on Bitcoin just shows that they sort of believe in the technology, which gives some validity to the fake CryptoPunk ordinal collection, which is interesting. And the other thing is, this is the first sort of real art play that we're seeing from Yuga, and it's not as though it's famous artists. It's Yuga themselves that have created this collection, which is quite interesting from scratch. And they're not really known for art. They're really going in very much um, a gaming type of direction. That's what they're doing. But here is an example of one of the artworks, and yeah, they're going to be launching this collection.
Dude, I really wonder about Bored Ape Yacht Club once NFTs and how do I say this? Once the blockchain world becomes more used by other people and like the industry starts to expand, like how much the Degen audience that we're in right now, how much this lasts. Like I feel like every time I hear something from Yuga, it's only to raise money for something, and it's like nothing else ever. It's like that's the only thing. It's always tied to something they're raising money for. The game was always like you had to buy this NFT to. I don't know. It's just it always seems that there's some level of like money raising, and who knows if that's actually true. Like maybe I'm just not paying attention, but I know that for myself, when I have a thought like that, other people are thinking that, and if I'm thinking that, other people are thinking that, and a lot of probably a lot of people are thinking that. There's probably a lot of people who aren't thinking that as well, but it makes me wonder because I'm like, fam, how much can you keep dropping stuff and people keep buying it before it just isn't all that anymore, bro? Like they don't have a brand, they don't have
So
anything about them.
every time we say that, and every time you fade them, they do well. Like this Dookie Dash, the fucking key out of a monkey's asshole. Like a 12-week event. How are they going to keep everyone captivated? And it's been a massive success. Every time they do something, and everyone's like, "No, this will never work." It always does. I have zero doubt in my mind that these are going to be worth a lot of money. I really know that for sure. It's only 300. It is from Yuga.
But is
It
it
is.
But is it one of those things like with like Psychedelic Anonymous where like you drop one too many and literally it just takes one where it's like breaks the camel's back kind of thing? Do you think that's possible, or do you think Bored Ape's too far gone?
It is possible. Yeah, and I think you got to sort of be careful not to diversify too much. So, are you an art project? Are you a gaming project? The truth is CryptoPunks is very much an art project. Very much. Like they are the OG art project. Even Art Blocks was like very much launched by that CryptoPunk community. That's where it was spoken about. That's where. So arguably, the fact that they've bought CryptoPunks a while ago, they do have the right in a way to do art, and they can argue from that perspective that under the CryptoPunks that it is an art project. I mean, they've got the Sotheby's guy as the head there, Gabe or whatever his name is, for CryptoPunks, getting these in art, getting CryptoPunks in art museums and all the rest of it. I think I screwed his name, but. One of the guys from Sotheby's, they bought on a while ago to do it. So they can argue that this fits on it. But yes, Kate, there is a risk if you just keep doing like jumping at the first thing all the time, that at some point it's just too much. But I don't think that this is going to be it. I think this will do well, but I do think they've got to be careful. I think that there's a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just want to see. I just wanted to have a little bit of clarity on like what they are. Like, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I just want to know like what exactly they are. You know, like if you take away the hype, like what is actually there. I think it's a bubble until you have that. Like if they have it, then like great. If they start working on it and then 3 months later they have a real brand that's established and people have an idea of what they are, then it changes everything. Like if they did that, then I would be macro bullish for a very, very, very long time. But I just don't have that. Like I don't have any words that could describe Yuga other than hype. I literally know the words. I'm like, yeah, like they've got some games that are based on the hype, got some art that are based on the hype, they got some founders that are based on the hype. No one knows anything about them other than they're just hyped up and they did some artwork and there's some storytellers. Like that's it, dude. Like there's nothing else to the brand. It's just like, how long does that last?
If they continue delivering, then it continues
Yeah,
lasting. I
I
mean,
guess so.
so just to correct myself, it wasn't the Sotheby's, it was the Christie's. The Christie's auction house that they hired, the head there. I wish I remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I don't. I don't have it. But yeah, just to correct myself over there. Yeah, Code, I hear you, my brother. But I mean, as I say, anytime anyone's ever faded Yuga like that, we were sure. You and I were sure, and you were with me that the ape token, was the biggest um, mistake they could make, because
Mm.
we saw anyone that had launched a token ended up going to zero. They didn't even initially have any utility for the token whatsoever. And we thought it was going to zero, and it's actually held up pretty well, considering everything, right? So staking, we said, was a big mistake. Anytime a project launches staking, it ends up killing the project. So much so that many OG projects have undone staking. Yuga does it, and it's done well. And if you staked your Bored Ape or your Mutant, you've done very well, because the ape coin has held its price pretty well. So I just know, don't fade Yuga. That's what I know.
Yeah, I think it's because I've seen when they do have FUD, stuff falls apart so quick because it's all based on money. It's like based on like give me money, and like the second something like when another deed happened, dude, I have not seen that. Like that was crazy to see that level of civil war amongst the brand. I was like, whoa, that does not happen in other projects, and it's because there's so much money involved now. There's so many people who invested at the top. Like I don't even know how many people bought at $500,000. Or like imagine being Franklin with like 60 Bored Apes. They're all worth $500,000. And like I saw his tweet the other day, he was like, imagine being me, bro. Imagine me having 60 of these things worth $500,000 each, and now they're all worth 80K or whatever it is. I don't
But
know.
how much? But how much did he pay for those?
I
So
don't
he
know.
bought a lot of those at $1,000 each. So yes, if he had sold the top, he could have been 10 times richer than
Right.
at the moment, or for whatever. However, he's still up, 100x or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
Crypto Dream
yeah,
has a
I
good
mean,
point.
look, the truth is, and we'll look at Crypto Dream straight away. The truth is that if you supported Yuga from the very beginning and were diamond handing, you have made literally probably the best investment that you could ever make in your entire life. So I'm saying, if you minted a Bored Ape, just
Mm.
one, and you held it all the way through, you got your dog, you held your dog. You got your mutant, you held your mutant. You got other deed, you got the ape coin drop free ape coin, and all the way through. If you just held it, you probably in for $500,000 to $1 million for an investment of 100, 200, 300, $400, whatever it was. 0.08 ETH when ETH was what, 2000. So what's that, about $200, $150?
Yeah.
Where else could you have put $150 and taken $500,000 and still own the original asset? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
So guys, no, it's true. So guys who did that are loyal to the brand, right? And you can imagine they're rich because of it. Let's have a look here, Crypto Dream. What's he saying?
Said mystery can fuel desirability. Look at the mystery behind Bitcoin and Satoshi, and that is a good point. I feel like a small difference here is that, well, maybe it's not as big of a difference as I'm thinking. Like Bitcoin is based on like a narrative of like culture and society, and like we want this, like we want decentralization. We don't want the power to be in these people. We want to take back the power. That's why we want this currency here that they can't control, kind of thing. And then the Bored Apes, I guess it's similar too, in the sense that like, well, is it similar? Maybe not. Hold on. Like the
No,
drop
look, I think definitely Yuga's done well at the right time to be mysterious, and they were. Things were just like all of a sudden you had a kennel club in your wallet. That was how they did it, and we didn't know what was happening with the mutants and all the rest. I mean, they really were good, but at that stage everyone was doxxed, which is the way things were done. They have also tried to adapt with the times, so now it's time not to be doxxed, and now people want to know a bit more, and they are being more transparent and showing what their plan is for every single collection and all the rest. So mystery is important for sure, but on top of that, they also have now sort of pivoted, and they are like that. They're able to pivot on a whim, which is good. They're now a team of over 100 people full time, working on all the different brands under the ecosystem, and trying to deliver value and thinking every day, how do we deliver value to this collection, that collection, and so on and so forth. So if you believe in NFTs, you have to believe in Yuga. Whether that's CryptoPunks, a Bored Ape, a Meebit, you have to be other side. You've got to believe in something in the ecosystem if you believe in NFTs, because they are the OG NFT guys. They are,
True.
and everyone else was copying them. When you saw that everyone else was like, okay, we're going to give you a free sister collection or whatever, that was all Bored Ape, and they're the only ones who were able to maintain the original value of the original assets, even when they dropped the other assets in the ecosystem. So yeah.
And I do like with the mutants, it's almost like a decentralized group
Its
effort of
own
marketing,
ecosystem. Yeah,
Yeah, like with all the content creators who are mutants and all the people who post on Twitter and stuff like that. That part is cool. So I'll admit that for sure. But I'm good to move on.
for sure. So just a small thing, old news already. I mean, but it has to be spoken about. Mongrel, the Fortnite gamer that won the golden key for playing Dookie Dash, he accepted an offer from a friend for 1,000 ETH. We saw that 9gag put in an offer, I think, for just under 1,000 ETH. And before that, there was another offer there. But I really am happy that this young gamer, I mean, he's 18 years old, Kyle Mongrel Jackson. I'm really happy that he accepted an offer. I mean, $1.6 million for 2 weeks of playing a game. Good for him, honestly. And there's a lot of people that would have thought, oh, let me hold it, I might get more. And maybe he could have gotten a slight bit more. Who
I don't
really,
know.
really knows?
That was a
But
good time to spend, I
but
think.
yeah, I agree. I think well done, well done. Take my hat off to the guy. Yeah, and I mean, I think you and I need to become gamers because that is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean the mongrel shit was pretty crazy. I mean that guy's loaded anyway. He's a Fortnite streamer.
Yeah, Adam. Well, yeah, but I mean, he said that in the last 4 years he hasn't made $1.6 million, and he's a
Yeah,
very very famous streamer.
and the royalties are
So
paid. I like that. I'm a big fan of royalties being paid.
yeah,
I stand with the royalties, so I'm glad he made a point to mention that too publicly. I think that's dope. I think that's yeah, I liked it.
yeah, and he sold it to Adam Whiteman, who's like a billionaire, which is great.
Oh,
Um, yeah, no, really, legitimately, I think like legitimately a billionaire. But yeah, good to see. And again, just shows you also the power of Yuga, bro. I mean, they created this asset out of a monkey's ass, and it sold for and it sold for $1.6 million, which is
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, you actually, yeah, damn. Now when you say it like that, I'm like, damn, they really did just plop that motherfucker out and sold it for $1.6 million flat
Yeah.
rate.
And speaking of mystery, no one knows what the golden key gets you
Dude, yeah,
yet.
that is interesting. That I think about that is some pretty interesting game theory. For the brand.
But people trust the Board APR Club, and if there's only one asset, then it's special and
Bro,
it's
that
worth
shit better
something.
deliver. That shit better deliver. Paying 1.6 million for a JPEG with zero clue what it's gonna do, but it's a one of one. So imagine having a one of one Yuga asset. That actually would be a pretty damn. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm interested to follow along, I guess.
For sure. Then we've got Doodles coming out and saying, look, we know that there's about 20,000 Genesis boxes, but don't worry, everyone is going to get a rare. All 24,000 of you are going to get rares. So the question is, Kate, if everyone's getting a rare, is anything really rare?
Wait, did you say they're all getting common?
No, they're all getting rare.
You said they're all getting common?
No, no. So here's Doodle's tweet. It says everything in these boxes is going to be rare.
Everything in these boxes is gonna be common. That's crazy. I don't even know why
Not
they bother saying.
common, rare.
I just don't know why they bother to mention that everything's gonna be a common. It's just there's no reason to even mention that.
Cade, are you playing with me?
I'm playing with
Everything
you.
is.
I'm not playing with you. I'm just telling you that like that is no. There's no point in saying everything is rare. That means everything is common. That is the exact same thing. There's no difference between the two sentences we just said.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. You're 100% right. It's bullshit. So he's coming out and saying, look, forget about the 20,000. When there's 2 million of these things, 20,000 is going to be a small percentage, and therefore they're all going to be rare.
They can all be
That's what.
cool. They can all be cool, but they can't all be rare. They're all
No.
common. They're all common.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's the
R.I.P.
point.
Well, whatever. I mean, depending on their thesis, like it might be that that's fine. Like that's fine. Like I don't know. There's no project really doing it like this. So I'm actually okay with this, and I'm actually interested to see how it goes because they experimented with crypto kitties. It failed. But maybe it changes. Maybe it's very different this time. It's a very different brand. They don't have 2 million of them yet, and so they've still got time to kind of figure out how it's going to roll out. And I'm sure timing will be dictated based on the market and things like that. But I mean, shit, we'll see. We'll see. It's
Look,
not going to be a
look.
project.
The question of whether we're bullish on doodles long term or not is one that we've had before, and I'm happy to have again. It's completely separate to everyone's like worried about how with so many assets how can there be rarity, and just to come out and say, well, don't worry, all of yours are going to be rare, is just like a bit of a, I don't know what's the word when you like, it's an insult. It's an insult to holders. It's like, no, no, dude, they're not. There's 24,000 of these things. They can't all be rare, you know.
Yeah, I think they know that a lot of the, or maybe I'm not sure what their audience is, but it sounds like either they think that their audience is a lot of just kind of like people who are going to read that and be, oh, cool, and just pretty much not have a thought after that. And like maybe that's what they're banking on, that they're like, oh, well, Doodle said it's going to be rare. Like I'll just listen to them. But I don't know.
So
Like it's hard
all
for
the
me to
boxes hold
say.
grails.
Huh?
All the boxes hold grails.
I just like it. If you're doing this in a collectible fashion, which here's the thing is like I know I've interviewed Jordan Castro, who's OG. I interviewed Mac Flavell, who's OG. I interviewed Arthur Kamara. They're all from the CryptoKitty Dapper Lab community. They all were on the team back in 2017 or whatever it was. They all don't look at NFTs the way everyone else does. They look at NFTs very much like I do, in a collectible fashion, but not really tied to asset like money wise. And I think that either is going to be the most bullish thing ever for them, or it's going to be it's going to be their fucking Achilles heel. And it really depends on the state of the market when this comes around. If they're at a point where they've done enough work where people are bought in and they're like, okay, we're in with you guys, like we're down, then it's going to be fine. But if they launch this and people are still expecting them to be airdrop money like Yuga, that is not the kind of project this is. Like if that's what you're looking for, you need to get out of Doodles, because I don't think that's where they're headed. I could be completely wrong. Like they could drop 2 million NFTs and everything changes, but like I just don't see how that would even be possible.
Yeah. So just looking at some of these replies, and then I want to show you something else. So this guy, Adam Hollander, says, if I was holding any doodles, I would have immediately accepted all WETH offers after this announcement.
As a
Another guy,
financial decision, that's probably smart. But as like a Doodles holder, as a supporter of Doodles as a brand, maybe not. But as a financial decision, that's probably is smart. But that doesn't mean you have to hate Doodles. Like it's
no,
hard
for
because
sure.
Doodles is a JPEG, but it's also a literal asset. So it's like it's really hard to separate the two. Like I think people hate that they're not getting money for it, but I think a lot of people like Doodles. They're just like, fuck, like I can't hold this Doodle if it's going to keep going down in price, because everything you're doing is pushing the direction down.
So yeah, I mean, look, long term is different to short term, and long term, and you heard it here first. I'm actually bullish on doodles. I am long term. I am. If you're thinking NFTs by themselves,
Like
just
by money
just
though? Do you mean like the price will go up? Bullish? Is that what you mean by bullish, or what do you mean by bullish?
it's the same thing, because if they're able to pull this off, what they're trying to achieve, sort of a level of mass adoption in a studio manner, sort of rolling out through music and things like that. If they're able to achieve it, there will be collectability to the OG doodles, and that
Just the OG, right?
there will be value. Well, I don't know. Possibly the Genesis. It just depends. It depends how they do this. But when I'm saying long term, I'm talking 5, 10, 15 years.
So you're
Because
talking about
with
the Charizard holographic PSA 10s are the 10K kind of thing, and all the other stuff are just Pokemon cards that are commons that are worth 3 cents in the dollar kind of thing. Because I don't see a problem with that either. I'm down with that. Like if like Pokemon, if we were to take that example and be like, this is what Doodles is trying to do, like that kind of thing, where there are a very small select few cards that are very expensive, That could be the Doodle 10K collection and the Doodle secondary collection, whatever. And then everything else is basically for fun. And that'll really depend on their execution on content and branding. So you're right. I'm also macro bullish on them too for their main collection, because I think they will pull it off. And if they do, that'll work well. But that doesn't mean that
It's going to
every
take
asset
time.
under Doodles will be good. As far as money.
No, but it will have historical significance, every asset that's out there at the moment,
Yeah.
if they pull off what they want to. And so yeah, I mean, another like bullish thing, and today they actually released their doodle map, which we're going to look at, their roadmap. But they said on the 27th of February, we've got some updates, we've been listening, and we know you want more communication from us. That starts now. So that's good, because the big criticism in the last 6 months has been that Doodle is quiet. We hear nothing from them whatsoever. And Genesis boxes, they said we took the duplicator feedback, we updated the Genesis box content. Remember, and we said everything's going to be rare. They took quite a bit of slack, but then they came out today and they said, here's our doodle map. It all starts with a doodle. Right. So again, saying their OGs is where it's at. Our mission is to inspire belief in the idea that doodling has the power to ignite our imagination and transport us to new realities. Then this is the doodle map that they came out with. Let's see if I can make it any bigger for you guys. No, that makes it smaller. Don't know if it makes any difference. It's pretty big. So here you can see what you got going on. Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that's already happened. So we had the space doodles with the planets, right? The studio, not sure, but here's your OG collection in the middle, right? So they're trying to show you that the OG collection, everything comes from the OG collection. You got this rainbow going to a doodle bank, which I don't know what that is, but I like money banks. That means something, which is cool. One wire going to a duplicator, which has happened already. Another something going here to Doodle Records. We know they've got Pharrell Williams on board. So that's bullish as hell. Another one going to the studio. Doodles 2, the Genesis box. So the Genesis box is out. Doodles 2, people are so confused whether what the Genesis box has to do with Doodles 2 and the duplicate. I mean, it is too confusing. Hopefully this gives a bit of understanding to people. I mean, I'm still thoroughly confused with how the duplicator comes into the Doodles 2. We know the Genesis box is going to be like accessories for Doodles 2, but I still don't know where the Doodles 2 comes from, right?
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm very interested in this though. I really do like doodles. It's really hard to like when we had this topic, because they're tied to an asset, and short to midterm, it's really just such a risky play with doodles to buy in, and it's so hard to separate the two, but the brand versus the money side. It's like, fuck doodles. It's like, well, hold on, like, do you actually say you really don't like doodles, or you just don't like that some of the things they're doing are not helpful in the short term? But if you weren't going to sell, and I think that's the problem, is like some people were like, I want to hold, and they're like, they can't handle the fact that the price fluctuates up and down. And I think that's really the problem, is they can't handle that. And you just have to ask yourself, like, are you holding this to flip, or are you holding this to hodl? If you're holding to hodl, then just stop looking at the floor. Just stop looking at it, because it's just not going to matter.
Yeah, I think the difficulty comes in for the guys that bought the top. That's where it's hard.
Yeah.
So if you spent 15, 20 Ethereum when ETH was $3,500, $4,000, and you've watched ETH go all the way down, and then you're watching the Doodles floor, which is now 5.5 or whatever. Effectively, even if you want to believe in it, at some point you're going to say, when do I cut my losses? Am I an idiot? Is this going to carry on bleeding? Is ETH going to carry on bleeding? And do I cash out and get a bit back, or do I stay? And I think that's really the root of a lot of frustration in the market at the moment, and I think we see it across the board, bro. Like, people are ready to kill each other. I mean, it is such an hostile environment, the NFT space. People are angry. Yeah, it's true. They are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. If I bought the top, I probably would be mad. But if I didn't buy the top, I'd be chilling, dude. I really
no. If you didn't buy that, if you minted one and you always knew you wanted
even if
it
I
long
bought
term,
at a medium price, like, I would still be chilling. Like, even if I, like, what are they at, 5 or something?
They're five and a half,
Even if I bought
just
it
under six.
7, 8, 9, I'd still be chilling. Like I know I lost
Okay,
50% for
and
like
if you
small
bought
amounts.
it 15,
That would change the game. That would be very different.
that's
But I would
hard, yeah.
also know that you have to separate the two. Like you have to separate the two and realize that you're the idiot who bought the top. You know,
Yeah. Well, long term, I don't know if you're an idiot even at that price. I mean, so this is what they're saying here about their doodle map. I'll just read it to you word for word. So they're saying this map is a lens into the universe that we are building and how all of it connects. As each of these products and experiences are delivered, it will be clear that our holders and the original collection are at the center of the doodleverse. Just like the printing press, TV, and the internet, blockchain enables us an entirely new format for storytelling and identity. We'll continue to leverage many aspects of this revolutionary tech to reimagine what it means for a fan, collector, or a holder to be a part of the universe. As illustrated in the map, we'll continue to significantly invest in the Ethereum ecosystem and the promise of Web3, which we are also exploring fresh ways to make it easy for people to enter and stay in our community. Our team is stacked, which is very true. Our vision is clear, and we have the resources to deliver. We are determined to make our community proud to be Doodles. We're striving to build one of the greatest entertainment and lifestyle experiences in the world, and our community and their collectibles will be connected to all of it. Stay tuned. 2023 just got a lot more colorful.
damn.
Bullish, bro. I
Yeah,
mean,
I like it.
that's a cool tweet thread.
Yeah, dude, I like it. I'm down.
Yeah. Look, if I was happy, to put money in, there's a few projects, but if I was looking long term, I think now I would buy a Doodle.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, my net worth needs to be much higher before I go and drop
Mi-
5 ETH.
Mine
But
too.
yes,
Mine too, good. But yeah, I mean, I do think, I've always said like VFriends for me is a long term, a no
same.
brainer. Gary Vee's
Do you
shown
have
that
one?
I don't anymore. I've never had an OG. I've bought and sold VFriends 2s quite a lot. I've had at least 5 or 6 different ones over the time.
Nice.
But at the moment, I'm not holding anything. But I actually really want a VFriends
I
OG.
do. I do too.
I do. I mean, we should do it. We should, yeah, not by and I'm saying you and I should do that sort of, okay, if we had 40, 50 ETH, what would we buy?
Yeah, it'll
But
be up there.
definitely, obviously, Yuga assets, but definitely a Doodle, definitely a V friend. And I know I'll get slack for this, but definitely, even at at this price specifically, I would buy a Clonex still. I still think that they will come out of this. I think they've got a lot of work to do, but I think that they will come out of
Bro,
it.
I'm
Um,
loading up on Porsche NFTs. I don't know about you, but that's all I'm loading up on.
back up the Porsche track. All right, and then quite interesting here, bro. So Binance, first of all, I mean, our friend there, CZ, he's in quite a bit of shit. There's a lot going on. I mean, I've got videos dating back 4 or 5 months, and I hope I'm wrong, saying just be careful of any centralized exchange where there's smoke, there's fire. There was something recently where somehow they've lost 1 point something billion USD. They don't know where it is. And slowly, like we got Congress in America saying we need to look more carefully into Binance. Lots of either FUD or legitimate worry going on there. Just so I maintain what I've always said. Not your coins, not your crypto, like everyone else says. So just keep that in mind. But with that, they launched this new AI project, an NFT collection, and 10,000 collection, minted in about 2.5 hours on Binance, bro. And it's
Whoa.
called Picasso, sort of obviously a play on Picasso, but also it's AI generated art. And, we know that there's a huge buzz going around, AI has become a buzzword. And, if you have an AI company at the moment, you're laughing all the way to the bank. But
Wait, hold on. Did you see Elon Musk tweet? Is this what spawned? Wait, when did this happen?
so this is in the last couple of days.
Dude.
Like
All
So
right.
Elon Musk is separate. We're going to look at that. I've actually got that. We'll look at
Do
that
you want to
right
talk about then?
right next. We can. But I just want to talk about this collection, and then let's talk about that. I know what you're talking about because I do have it here. But what is AI-powered NFT generator? How does it work? So it's a tool that uses artificial intelligence to create unique digital artwork, and then that artworks turn into NFTs. So we have actually seen this before anyway. But users could input a creative prompt or upload an image, and the AI generates artwork. So we did see that when we looked at Midjourney, when we did that whole thing. So they basically use something like that. I think there might be notability just because, if Binance is around in the next 10 years, which is a big if in my opinion, but if it is, there could be some sort of value there that it's Binance's first NFT collection and it happens to be AI. But interesting, bro. Interesting to me that Binance is even interested in NFTs. It's sort of like, are they in a situation where they need to just try and branch out, or are they trying to be at the forefront of technology? I don't know.
Interesting shit, dude. If I heard a lot of people, if Binance goes down, that a lot of people said they're a little bit unsure of what if like crypto will like actually survive. I'm not really worried about that. I'm very worried. Obviously short to midterm what that would do, but I'm really like I'm past the point of wondering if crypto is here or not. Like crypto is here. The age of digital currencies and decentralization is here. That's never going away, and it does not matter if Binance is here or not. It will hurt really fucking bad for a few months though. But in the same way, when FTX tanked, that only took a week, and then we all forgot about it anyway. Like it
It took
doesn't matter as
bit
much as,
longer,
but Binance
but
is
I
the
agree with
biggest
you.
one, so it will hurt for a while. But I have no doubt that crypto will be here. That's not something that's that I'm worried about. But
Well, we're
this is
seeing it. I
super
mean,
interesting.
even Australia today or yesterday came out. They are looking into a Australian currency coin for the government. Britain's doing the same. I mean, cryptocurrency like is definitely here to stay. There's no doubt. It's the future of money. The problem is that if it gets adopted from a country level as a currency,
That's
then,
scary.
then we lose the decentralized nature of it, which is its whole appeal. That it can't be controlled by governments, that people who are being oppressed at the moment, we're seeing in Nigeria, the banks, there's nothing there. And, if you had Bitcoin, you'd be able to easily transact. And, so we do see the need for cryptocurrency. And if it just becomes centralized and taken over by countries' governments, then it's no longer what it's intended for, and the use cases are different. But cryptocurrency in some form is definitely always here. And I think, arguably Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably here to stay, but it's hard to know in what form it's going to be here in the next 15, 20 years. It's going to be here and it's going to be a big part of everything. But how it plays out is going to be interesting.
And I'm here for it, bro. Like that's why I'm here, bro. I have conviction in the space. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. Um, I'm really just here for the fucking ride, bro. I'm here for the ride. The world's gonna keep spinning. Things will keep happening. If everything falls apart, something will rise from the ashes anyway. Like if everything actually fell apart in crypto or whatever, it still would something would still come from it because there's too many people that are in. It's too big. It's gotten too big. We're here to stay. I'm glad everyone
And
here
and
is
clever
listening.
people, and clever, very clever people who have dedicated their lives to this, and are not going anywhere. So I agree with you. And again, I'm like you. I'm very interested to see where it goes. I'm here for the ride, but you got to be open minded because it might not come out the way we think from a positive and a negative
I'm
perspective.
down. I'm down for that too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Also, can I
So
go pee real quick? I'll be
yeah,
like 30 seconds.
of course,
All right.
you excuse Kate. You can
Thank
kind
you, bro.
so it feels like he's back in school. Uh, yeah, when we need a P, we need a P. So I think I'll wait for Kate for this one because he wanted to do it. Let's jump on to the next one. So this is also quite bullish. We got Trip Hawkins. So he's from EA Sports, right, and games. And he's coming into the world of NFTs. So, I mean, anyone who knows gaming knows EA, and they have launched a new NFT-based company called Games for a Living. The new company focuses on blockchain gaming with play-to-earn elements and ideals. The company also prioritizes shifts in the gaming industry business model to create revolutionary new ways that players can experience and earn from games. So, we've always had this sort of like battle between Web2 gaming and NFTs and Web3. And to see a company as big as EA in the gaming space, a real gaming native company, forming a new company, literally based on the NFT technology and Web3 and into play to earn is really, really bullish. And it's good to see. Um, so, anyone who knows gaming will know Trip Hawken. And yeah, man, I'm really happy to see him in the Web3 space. Going to be interesting how they interpret it and what ends up happening over here. Like, what is their first project going to be? Is it going to be one of their Web2 games that they end up adding NFTs into? And those sort of elements, or are they going to launch a completely new game altogether that from the beginning built all the way from the bottom up based around NFT and blockchain technology. So that does remain to be seen. They have teased a game called Diamond Dreams, which will be like a puzzle type game. Um, and yeah, I mean, going to be interesting to see if these games take off and how they integrate blockchain and NFT technology into the games, and how the traditional gamers from the space, guys who are native to gaming, how they take, perceive this. Do they reject it or do they embrace it? And that's really what's going to be interesting, right? So the standalone game of a living network, referred to as the network, is a way for developers to create blockchain-based games. It will allow the gamer to own their digital asset, which we know about. Going to be interested to see whether there's going to be interoperability. It's going to be interesting to see whether you'll be able to use your avatar from one of these games in other games and how that plays out, because that's really what we've been trying to achieve here. But yeah, really interesting. And going to be great to see what they end up delivering. So I'll keep my eye on it, and then I'll definitely let you know as we hear more. All right, Kat, so I think this is what you were talking about earlier, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that Elon Musk came out and says that he wants to research and start an alternative to Chat GDP. Is that what you
Uh,
were thinking of?
Actually, no, but yes, also kind of. Well, he put out a tweet and he said probably exactly in relation to that rather than what I thought. I thought it was related to the Binance thing, but it's definitely related to this. He put out a tweet today or yesterday, and he said, I used to be in crypto, but now I got interested in AI. But the interesting thing about that tweet is he put it in quotes and he just left it like that. And it got 11.5 million impressions. Not completely sure what he's trying to say. Like, I can't tell if he's trolling or what exactly the point of that is, other than probably just to draw some attention to this. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those who don't know, Musk is a co-founder of OpenAI. He started it with Sam Altman in 2015. So like that in and of itself is quite interesting. Um, so he comes back and he says, yeah, in one of his tweets, Chat GDP is a scary good. We are not far from dangerously strong AI. So he's always, I mean, Elon Musk is that sort of doomsday type guy. He's always, been that way. But yeah, he wants to develop another AI that can take on ChatGPT. To be quite honest, so do I. What I mean is that when you see that Microsoft values this technology at $30 billion, it can make anyone want to. So I also think I would like to develop a ChatGPT alternative and sell it to, Apple for $30 billion. But the difference is Elon Musk has got the brain power, the money, and the previous history. I mean, he started ChatGPT to do so. But yeah, interesting to see. And is it just words, or is he actually going to do this?
well, I hope he does, because if he's trying to compete with ChatGPT, I would rather someone do it, because right now, like, I heard some interesting things which kind of racked my brain a little bit in the terms of like Black Mirror-esque stuff. But like, if ChatGPT comes out and you're only seeing certain kinds of results because Microsoft owns it, is that AI or is that like structured AI, where it's like, you don't actually get the answer you're looking for. You're not actually getting AI. You're getting a very condensed version of what Microsoft is allowing you to get of AI that might be very biased based on what their political agenda is. And